Hello, and welcome back to this playthrough and commentary of Star Wars Dark Forces. This is the first mission, Operation Skyhook Phase 2, and we'll be playing this mission on hard. We'll be playing all of the missions on hard, and this mission is a reflection of LucasArts games to weasel the player into the Star Wars series canon of events. In this case, getting the Death Star plans. Obviously, mission objectives are to get the Death Star plans and get them out. So let's click OK, and we will begin the mission. And this mission quite literally drops us into the Star Wars universe, as so. And here we will be picking up our third weapon, aside from this and this pistol. And it is the Imperial Stormtrooper Blaster Rifle, which is my favorite weapon of the game. Now, Dark Forces being released in 1995, it was released in the same 5-year period that saw other releases, such as Wolfenstein 3D, Doom 2, Descent, System Shock, and Terminator Rampage. FPSs were very popular during this time, and many developers were hoping to cash in on the surge of interest. And here I'll show off the range of motion, aside from jumping and crouching, which I've already shown. Strafing, for example, and looking up and looking down. Now, looking up and looking down was a feature unique to Dark Forces at the time. No other game had done it before, and it was until Duke Nukem 3D that saw the integration of mouse look in a 2.5D engine. Because there is no true mouse look in Dark Forces, unlike modern FPSs today, the game features a soft aiming mechanic. Soft aiming in this case is basically an aim assist that aids the player in hitting targets he or she may not be trained on precisely. It's a useful feature in 2.5D engine games because many games of the era did not come with a targeting reticle in the center of the screen for the player's weapons to aim with. As I've shown, the aim assist works for both the plane the player is on and on planes above and below the player. As far as what a 2.5D engine is in this case, it is a 3D rendered world, such as the ground, the walls, and the ceiling, with a forced camera perspective to view other elements, as opposed to a player's true perspective of his surroundings and the elements within it. For example, the stormtroopers I'm shooting at are rendered with a distance scaling function, meaning the size of the stormtroopers are dependent on the distance from the camera, as opposed to their true size in relation to the 3D world they occupy. As such, the closer I am to stormtroopers, the bigger they are, not the closer I am to the stormtroopers, the bigger they appear to be. And here we are moving into the first secret of the first mission, which is a jump across the chasm to a revive, which is a full power-up, 200 shields, and full health. Revive in hand, let's proceed to our first mini objective, which is finding the key card that will open and lock the door inside the first room we dropped into. As you will see here, while stormtroopers are notoriously bad marksmen, they sometimes get lucky, and if you're up close to them, they go from laughable to serious. Here we hop up the elevator to dispose of an Imperial officer carrying the key we need to take. There it is. Now that we have it, let's head back to the door that needs it. The nature of the enemies in this game is that when they fire at you, they will directly face you, so dodging around them up close doesn't count for much, as you will remain in their cone of fire. It's a bit of a cheat, but only distance will lower their accuracy, as crouching doesn't help much. Now, a favorite pastime in my game is to find mouse spots and punch them. So, chalk one up on the mouse spot tally. With a flick of the switch, we hop down to demonstrate fists aren't just for mouse droids. Getting to know how to use our fists will help you out in the later mission. We throw a switch to open up our next secret area of the level, which was right above us. Ride up the elevator again. There's the opening, and with a leap across, we collect our goodies. In front of us is an elevator that will not only take us back outside, but directly above this room, which is another feature of Dark Forces, layered planes. The Jedi engine, which Dark Forces uses collision and height detection checks in order to create these layers, or floors. 1 second, mouse droid. Tacking on one more, we move on to our next secret area, which is a hop across to a rocky outcrop, this one specifically. There's another nearby, but I'll take this time for a bit of trivia about this level. Originally, the first level of Dark Forces was going to be on board an Imperial Star Destroyer, which was completed and even featured on the retail box of the game. However, the designers felt that the puzzles and large non-linear map would be too complex for an introductory mission, so the secret base was created to serve as the game's introduction. The unused Star Destroyer map was carried over to another map later in the game, the Executor, however heavily modified due to the nature of the mission objectives therein. Full shields, full health, and now full ammo, another leap across into a recess leads us to back-to-back secret areas, the first being this hidden switch. This opens another switch to bring down the large wall we're riding on now, leading to an Imperial bunker, which is the second of the two. As an additional bit of trivia, the reason why the shields go up to 200 points, as opposed to 100 in Jedi Outcast and later products, is because of the game X-Wing. In that game, you can charge your fighter's shields up to 200%, which is borrowed from the Red Leader's order in A New Hope, switching reflectors on double front. The X-Wing designers took this literally and implemented it into the game, and thus bled over into Dark Forces. Speaking back-to-back, asteroids. Sorry little guys, but you gots to die. Anyway, new item, the IR goggles. These turn the world green and globally lights every dark or light surface, as opposed to the headlamp which just lights a limited area around the camera. However, they drain more battery juice than the headlamp. Inside here, we find an extra life, in the shape of a rebel symbol, as well as this, the weapon's supercharger. The supercharger doubles the firing rate of all your weapons, to include your fists, but it will run out in 30 seconds, which is why I'm sprinting to get to an area with bad guys so I can use it. Another feature of Dark Forces that separates it from other FPSs is the dynamic music engine iMuse, created by in-house LucasArts music composers Michael Land and Peter McConnell. The purpose behind iMuse is to synchronize a game's music with the action taking place on screen, as well as seamlessly transitioning one music track to another with both adaptive and pre-programmed bridges. Here we have our sixth secret area under the elevator, as we did not take it down before. In Dark Forces, the iMuse system reacts to two things, the number of alert enemies on a map, and cutscene chapters. You most likely have heard it in use so far in the playthrough, but as people had different levels of computing power back then, it exists in the cutscenes as well. With these rooms cleared out, and the switch flipped, the first main objective is revealed, the Death Star plans, Thermal Exhaust Port Edition.
This is too easy. Now I get to my ship.
With Grand Moff Tarkin's fate sealed, and in hand, we now look to get out of here. And the exit is not far, but before we do that, there's one final secret area to find which can give you a nasty surprise if you're not expecting it. 2 stormtroopers and 2 commandos in a small room, which adds up to a fairly frantic fight. However, with a bit of ring around the rosy, they're dispatched, leaving us to fill up on shields and ammo, and batteries if needed. Once stocked up, we leave the room and get into the elevator and ride to the roof, where the Imperials hope to give us a bon voyage and good riddance send-off. Now, I could snipe all these baddies from the elevator if I wanted to, but it's much more fun to rush out and spray them with stormtrooper rifle fire. Once we finished off this group, a fully 3D object swoops down from the sky, the Moldy Crow, indicating that it's our ride out of here. In the back, we find a ventilation shaft which would drop us down to the beginning of the mission, and also hold another life if this wasn't hard. But for now, we'll end this mission and switch to text commentary for the upcoming cutscene. See you after the jump.